The issue of immigrants, whether expatriates seeking employment or refugees, is one of the most critical economic and political topics. In this context, one of the most important questions that mind-boggles society is who benefits economically from migration, the sender country or the receiver? There are two general perspectives on immigrants. Some believe that immigrants benefit the country of others and harm their birth country. The other perspective assumes that immigrants take over the work of local citizens. Both perspectives are not necessarily correct. To begin with, it is important to know that not all foreigners are seeking employment or refugees. Observing foreigners in your local town could possibly mean they are here for tourism or for medical purposes. It could be also that they seek investment opportunities, or maybe just for a study, or to participate in a research or conferences. Or they might have run for their life from an unjust regime or a natural disaster. Evidently, all these purposes bring money contributing to the development of local consumption in many sectors, and therefore developing the GDP. Even refugees, endorsements given to them from government is relatively small per capita, and it's more likely to be spent in local shops, generating more economic activity. Nevertheless, we will shed light on the negative side effects in a sec. Some may also generalize and say this country is racist, and that one is not racist. But that is also not true. In fact, politicians and economic policymakers who influence the level of acceptance or rejection of immigrants and foreigners in a country, and if any hostile acts occur to a foreigner or vice versa, it's more likely to be done due to personal problems within individuals. Now let us examine some of the pros and cons of labour migration from the original home to the receiver country. Businessmen benefit from rising domestic consumption, which increases their revenues. Businessmen also benefit from low labour costs. As to the government, it benefits from an increase in the volume of taxes, thereby increasing the revenues of the state treasury. The citizen also benefits from the expatriates, from creating vibrant communities to the benefit of international cuisines at the local high streets, to also having the chance to meet diverse people. Some negatives caused by expatriates to native citizens are high job competition makes some native citizens unable to compete, especially low-paid jobs, causing, at times, phobia of strangers, or what is so-called xenophobia, especially when the proportion of immigrants in a particular neighborhood increase dramatically and suddenly, creating congestion in the cities, forcing some indigenous people to go outside the cities. It would also require increased spending on security and police. Now let us take a look at the economic implications on the original home from which the expatriates emigrated. Let's start with the positives. First, citizens benefit from low competition in the labour market and wage increases to a certain extent. The government benefits from low unemployment rates. The government also benefits from expatriate remittances as a hard currency and poverty reduction contributor. The expatriate also benefits from developing their skills and acquiring capital that enables them to own their own work in their home country. Now, the negatives. Employers are disadvantaged from the migration of labour because of lower supply in the labour market, therefore higher wages. The labour market in the country of origin is losing due to brain drain effects, leading to higher wages and lower efficiency for businesses. Last but not least, the disadvantage of social negatives from the fragmentation of families, where children are deprived from living with their parents, wives from their husbands, and mothers from their sons, and so on. There is also a clip attached to this one that explains how economists estimate the most advantageous party from the two countries. Finally, the most important question that needs an answer is, who benefit the most from migration? Economically, the answer lies on the size of remittances. Therefore, developed countries should allow workers coming from least developed countries to remit more, reducing money transfer restrictions. Remittances are great solutions to fight poverty and increase global income, where World Bank statistics estimate that a 10% rise in expatriate earnings would cause a 3.5% decline in poverty in the world.